So the raging fires on Table Mountain destroyed UCT's African Studies Library, the Rhodes Memorial Park restaurant, and Mostad's mill, over 200 years old, as well as over 500 hectares of land. So Alan Winde is still calling on residents in the vicinity of the fire to take precautionary measures. And he joins me now from Cape Town for more on this. A very good morning to you. We've had an update from Deer Park. What is it that you are seeing and hearing about the fires this morning, please?
So obviously the wind has dropped, which is really great news. And of course, yesterday afternoon we saw the fire jump the Table Mountain Road, and that's the fire that they were fighting from last night in the Deer Park region. But just a few minutes ago, I got a voice or heard that we've now got the go-ahead for the helicopters to fly. So they'll be taking off at 7:30. That'll make a huge difference. Especially where those flare-ups are going, but also some of those high areas into the mountain that are very difficult to get to. So that's really good news for us for getting this fire out.
And you've been commending the firefighters and many of the residents for their bravery and for their generosity. Tell us more about what you've been seeing.
Well, the firefighters, first of all, and remember this is an amalgamation of a range of groupings of firefighters. So we've got City of Cape Town, their fire team, taking shifts. Of course, they've got many fire teams across the city, but many of their fire team. Then, of course, there's the Table Mountain National Park and their firefighting teams. You've got provincial disaster management and some of our teams, and then there's the volunteer firefighters. So it is sort of a partnership of all of these various organizations who've come together and fought this fire now for sort of 2.5 days. So the firefighters themselves and everybody that supports them, and then of course the citizens. They've stepped up from the beginning. It's always amazing for me to see how when there's a crisis like this, people just step up. They were standing in queues buying water and buying energy bars so that our firefighters were looked after while they were up on the mountain.
So now the focus on rebuilding, and tell us more about the person who has been arrested. What do you know about that?
Okay, so I don't have much more detail on that case, but we've got an arrest, and I do know that when the fires were raging on Sunday, that the disaster management team was saying that they cannot believe the fire spreading that fast, because remember on Sunday the wind wasn't blowing when the fire first started, but it seemed to spread far too quickly. So there were questions, and I'm glad that there has been arrest, and that obviously will be part of the investigation. To find out what's happening.
Parkscape said they warned the City of Cape Town in 2019 that something like this was going to happen, that Cape Town and the surrounding areas are vulnerable to this type of tragedy. Why was nothing done?
Yeah, well, I'll have to sort of check and see what the city says about it. But again, obviously there's all the different role players. And as a province, I think we'll also have to just pull everyone together and ask these questions. I mean, we do know that things are getting drier and drier with climate change. We do know that there are various questions asked on plantations of trees. There's questions asked on whether pine needles are cleaned out of gutters sufficiently and whether there's sufficient fire breaks in the system. And of course, we'll have to have that part of the investigation as well so that we mitigate this risk going into the future.
Let's talk about the firefighters. We know 5 of them have been badly burnt. There are in total 525 firefighters who stand to lose their jobs. They're striking at the moment. They want an 8-hour shift instead of 24. Will they be able to get that?
I think, again, obviously we're in the province. We don't make those decisions. You're asking that's a City of Cape Town question on their firefighters. And, of course, they've got to deal with that question. I'm unfortunately not able to give you that answer.
Alan Winde, good to talk to you. Thank you very much.